Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The Battlefield 6 beta has come and gone just like that, and I almost missed it actually, and if it wasn't for one of my best friends actually reminding me of the second weekend, I would have completely missed it. So we downloaded, had a blast.
You got him, all you.
Nice.
There's more.
Got another one.
Oh!
They saw me
They saw me
too.
They saw me too.
Close the door.
Close the door.
And dare I say, it may be a return to form for a franchise that I think has been troubled ever since that lackluster release of Battlefield 2042. I remember downloading 2042, played it for a hot minute, and didn't play it anymore. So this video will be basically my opinions and sort of a pseudo review of Battlefield 6 in this beta form, so leading up to its expected release in sometime in October. Although for what it's worth, I wouldn't mind if they delayed it a little. If they feel like they need to polish it, by all means go for it. I would not shed a tear or be disappointed whatsoever, because I think this game is it. There's a lot hanging in the balance in terms of this game bringing back to life the franchise that I think where the community got betrayed so badly by 2042. So stick around. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and hit that like button while you're at it. And yeah, hope you guys will enjoy this video.
Oh, there he is.
Right in front of you, right in front of you.
Got him. Nice, good call. Oh, stupid palm tree! Get out of the way! I can't see anything.
Oh, behind you.
Something just hit. Yep. Ouch!
Oh.
Nah, I couldn't move.
Oh.
I couldn't move. Damn.
Oh, God. At least we're like next to each other, Jason.
That's
Look
it.
at us.
We'll die together, bro. We'll die together, bro.
Someone else joined us, feel it.
Oh, this is how we go out, boys.
Dad holding hands.
Brothers till death.
So let's jump into it and let's talk about what I enjoyed. The first thing being the class system. Now, as I mentioned, obviously, I'm going to be drawing some comparisons to Battlefield 2042, as well as some previous installations in the franchise, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. I hold those games very dear to my heart. I play the heck out of them back in the day. And I remember quite vividly, at least with Battlefield 2042, one of the worst aspects of it, at least in my opinion, was that whole, specialist nonsense that they introduced into the franchise. And I said this in my Battlefield 2042 review. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen that, where it almost felt like Battlefield 2042 had this identity crisis, because on one hand you had these specialists, which is very reminiscent of Call of Duty games from recent times, but then you also had the massive expansive maps that Battlefield is known for, and it was a hodgepodge that just didn't make sense to me, and I didn't like it. And honestly, as I said, I didn't play it for all that long. In fact, I ended up deleting it not that long after. And it just wasn't the Battlefield that I knew, from the days of playing Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. But, big but, it seems that with Battlefield 6, the proper class system is finally back. They tried to bring it back in Battlefield 2042 in a half-baked fashion, but it just, it already hit flat, So, but Battlefield 6 is back with the proper class system. You have your 4 distinct classes, so that's Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon. And, each class has its own locked weapons. Now, I do believe, if I remember correctly, again, I played it for a very limited time. We're talking like a few games here and there over the span of like a day or two. And there are some game modes where all the weapons are not locked, but I played the mode where each individual class had its own set of locked weapons, as well as there is some universal shared weapons across all 4 classes. But now there is a minor change that I think could be, introduced, hopefully into the full, final release of the game. And I think it's that legacy design from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 with regards to the Assault and Support classes. So in Battlefield 6, as the name suggests, the assault class is very much focused on, you know, assault in the front lines. You get your assault rifle, a couple of grenade launchers, frag grenades, you get a second primary weapon as well, which is pretty crazy, and you get a sidearm, and that's basically it. There is no healing ability because that has been now assigned to the support class, which I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it gels with what that class is meant to be, especially with the support class's main weapon being the light machine gun. Maybe I'm just used to playing the classes that way from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, but I think it just needs to be changed because yes, the assault class is meant to be up in the front line, but it also makes sense for that class to be the one that heals and picks people up, throws down the med packs and med kits to keep, you know, other players healed up who are also on the front line.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Hang on, wait, no.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
it.
damn.
I'll come back to see you.
Alright, I'm trying to get this other guy up. There we go.
And then you have the support class where you get, you know, the big old machine gun, bunch of ammo, you know, in the form of an ammo crate, load of explosives. Here you go, buddy, go camp a corridor and, you know, just mow down people that happen to come through a choke point on the map. And that's sort of, you know, that's what those classes are made for, at least in my opinion. And it made a lot of sense back in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I think here in the case of Battlefield 6, just like Battlefield 2042, I think it's a wheel that just didn't need reinventing, because Battlefield 2042, I said this quite often in my review of that game, is that it felt like the game devs were reinventing the wheel. You know, there was no reason to be introducing all these different things, because Battlefield is known for what it is: big expansive maps, you got locked classes, medium to fast-paced action, not a really, you know, long distance type of firefights. You'll have close to medium quarters type of firefights, and that's what I, you know, remember. And it wasn't something that needed reinventing with 2042, much like the class system. Engineers, pretty much the same. You get your SMGs as your specific class of weapon, different types of launchers, rocket launcher, you know, ground to air launchers, so on and so forth, and of course your repair tool. And then of course you have recon, you get a sniper rifle, you get the universal weapons, and then a bunch of gadgets, spawn beacon, so on and so forth. The shared weapons, by the way, is like carbines, DMRs, and I think shotguns as well, if I remember correctly. The weapons overall actually feel okay. I think they just take a bit of getting used to, because again, I haven't actually played Battlefield since 2042. It's been a number of years. I deleted it, haven't touched the franchise ever since. I had Battlefield 4 just floating around in my hard drive, and I played it here and there when there was a populated server. A second, just gonna hide. Got 1, 2, whoa, got 3, flying low and slow, hello, whoa, got him, we got him, it's alright. But even that had its own set of issues. I swear, it was getting DDoS attacked every other day. It was really bad, like even Australian servers. I don't know what it is, people just don't want people to have fun for whatever reason. Ridiculous. Yeah, in terms of recoil, it's just something to get used to. I don't know. I really don't know how to sort of describe just how much I feel like it does need a little bit of tweaking. Sometimes it feels like the guns don't react the way that you expect it, but it could just be a skill issue and I just need to get used to it. And so, but I think, you know, overall it's a good sign in terms of the direction that the game is headed in, and let's hope that's the direction it stays in. Again, could do some minor tweaks. Another thing actually I noticed with the class system is that there seems to be a lot more teamwork actually that I observed, you know, during my limited playtime. And, you know, people are reviving each other, you have people actually repairing vehicles. This was an experience that I just couldn't fathom, especially in 2042. I swear, the amount of times I would go down or I'd be in a vehicle, no one would revive me. No one would repair my vehicle. There was just little to no teamwork, at least in my experience. It could be different for you guys, but it just didn't feel the same way that I remember from Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. You know, and it just, again, it had that identity crisis that I described it as. And, you know, again, with the big maps, which I think that's part of why Battlefield 6 seems to have a little bit more better teamwork that I've observed, is because the maps are not crazy big, but they're not tiny either. Because in Battlefield 2042, like I said, you had the massive, expansive maps, but it just felt like this omnidirectional wasteland. Every single map you were in is just like you have no idea or little to no clue as to what objective you should really be focusing on. Whereas, I don't know, the maps in Battlefield 6, they seem to be designed in a way, especially like for a game mode like Conquest, the objectives don't feel so far away from each other, where you're basically having to, you know, play walking simulator for half the game to get from Alpha to Charlie. And, you know, it just feels like it is a return to form where it encourages people to stick together. And quite often, actually, the design of the maps, as I was saying, you end up actually forcing you yourself into close proximity with other players, and you find because of that, teamwork sprouts from that. People are repairing vehicles, you know, people are reviving each other, which, by the way, especially in close quarters, the defib kills are back. People are really just gung-ho kamikaze, just running at you with defibs. It's hilarious. Hopefully I'll do a video, you know, trying to do some sort of challenge like that in the near future. And actually, speaking of which, you know, with the revive mechanic, you obviously, like I said, you have the defib paddles, but you also have some little stim / adrenaline shot. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it has really cool action, actually, where, you know, if you have a teammate down, you can go and pick them up, and when you go to administer the stim shot, you go into this action where you're actually dragging your teammate, which is so cool. You know, there have been moments, and hopefully I'll clip this somewhere in the edit here, where you're in a firefight, you're pushing onto an objective, and, you know, explosions going all off around you, bullets flying, and then you see a teammate down, you're dragging them behind around a wall, you know, while you're trying to heal them up to keep them in the fight. And it's honestly created this gritty moment that I've only really seen from milsims like Squad, for example. Heck, you can even hang off a tank now. Remember when, like, the M1 Abrams, you generally only had 2 seats, maybe 3 seats at most, and they were all, you know, inside the tank. But now you have external seats on the tank, where if you know, the first two, the main gun, that is the driver, and the secondary machine gun is occupied, if you were to again try and enter the tank, you can, and you just end up hanging off the back of the tank, which I thought was really cool. It's like, you know, it's a little touch, a little bit of a cherry on top in terms of the gameplay, and I think overall the baseline sort of foundational gameplay is good. Again, as I've been saying, it's back to form from the hot mess that was 2042. Now, I wouldn't hold my breath. You know, it's all good and well that the game devs have got a good thing going here, and I hope they keep it going, but there's still time to absolutely mess it up. So, from my limited playtime, there's only one thing I kept thinking throughout the entire time I was playing the beta, and that was, this is so much fun. You know, you have the destructible environment, Levolution, to coin the phrase from Battlefield 4 back in the day. And then, you know, the class system, which, you know, I appreciate the class system, again, because how 2042 just got it wrong so badly. But the class system really forces you to shift your play style, right? Sometimes you'll be in situations where you realize a match is swinging a certain way because your team doesn't have enough medics. So if you're a team player, which when you play Battlefield, hopefully you are, you think, okay, let me switch to a medic. And now you're going to try and contribute to the team that way. And it swings back and forth. You know, maybe people running out of ammo, you realize, and there's not many support teammates around you, so you switch to the support class and you drop in ammo, so on and so forth. And I think it's really good that Battlefield 6 has finally brought this back properly the way it should be. The map design as well, as I said, pulls you, yourself and your team, and you know, with the enemy team as well, into pretty decent and pretty intense firefights, at least from my, again, limited playtime. And I think it just creates that action-packed atmosphere that draws you into medium to fast-paced action that I remember so fondly from the days of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Dare I say, it actually feels gritty at times, like I said, especially when you're, you know, reviving someone and dragging them around a corner to revive them fully while explosions are going off and the rest of your team is pushing an objective. It is really cool, and I'm very much looking forward to this game's full release, and it seems like the community sentiment is very much the same. I would love a third beta weekend, to be honest. That would be pretty cool. But, as I said at the start of the video, I wouldn't even complain if they were to delay it a little bit, just to play test it thoroughly, just to polish it before fully releasing it, because even though I love Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, everyone remembers their own share of launch issues that those games had. So, dear Battlefield 6 devs, if for some reason, somehow you happen to watch this video from my very dinky little channel, please, don't mess this up. The Battlefield community was betrayed so badly by Battlefield 2042. But this is your chance to make up for it. This is your chance to give us Battlefield as we've known it to be, especially from the days of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And I hope you guys who are watching agree with me as well. Leave your comments down below as well, pleading with the Battlefield devs to get this right, you know, make this right. And yeah, again, let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the Battlefield 6 beta? If you played it, did you enjoy it? What didn't you enjoy it? If there was anything that you didn't enjoy it. Again, no game is perfect, especially as I said, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, great games. They had their own launch issues. Battlefield 2042, just total, throw it in the trash, you know, completely. Forget about launch issues. The entire game was awful, in my opinion. Not to mention, it didn't have a campaign, right? As far as I remember. I believe Battlefield 6 is coming back with a campaign. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. And, yeah, take care of yourselves. And I will catch you guys in the next video.